now that we understand that fundamentally, that the selfish hiring manager is hiring for a very selfish reason that they'll never admit to, let's now get into the interview process. Now, this interview process, relatively fundamental. Everybody knows about the STAR method or SBO questions, situation, behavior, outcome-based questions. But if you don't, we're gonna go into it in a little bit more detail. We're gonna talk about the interview process. We're gonna talk about it in 3 parts. But before we get into the 3 parts, got a question for you all. So the way I look at an interview, I look at it as a movie. And there are 2 roles at the interview in this movie. Your role is the role of the director. As a director, you're responsible for getting all the shots. So it's a script, and it's like you tell the camera to look left, look right, get all the ideal shots to make this a perfect movie. The interviewer, they're the producer at the movie. So they own the outline, they got the money, the bankroll, they're the ones paying for the movie at the end of the day. And they want you to give them the ideal movie as the director. Now, there are 3 parts to every movie. We're gonna go over those 3 parts. There are only 3 parts to every movie, no more, no less. Only 3 parts to every interview, no more, no less. But before we get into the 3 parts, question for you, how much talking should you be doing at the interview? How much talking should you be doing at this? 50%, 60% of the talking, 70% of the talking, 10% of the talking, 20% of the talking. Ideally, 50% is nice though. At an interview, it's almost like a date almost, and it's only a one-time date, maybe 3 at the most. We're going on 3 dates and then we about to get married. It's like, I go meet you for 45 minutes and 3 45-minute, sometimes 2 45-minute intervals. And I'm about to make a decision that's about to last me for at least 1 year. Like, I got to see your face for at least 1 year. I'm about to affect your life and mine for the next year. And if you're doing 5% of the talking, it's not much that I can gather from you to know if I'm going to even like you. And if they're doing 90% of the talking, it's like, it's not much, again, that I can gather to see if I can even like you. And I know some of you all are saying like you keep saying like me. What is that? What if I'm qualified? Again, we go back to the last slide and talk about the reality here. Every decision that I've ever heard about hiring, this is usually how it goes. The recruiter usually finds these qualified candidates, right? And so let's say if a recruiter finds 10 qualified candidates, and let's say all 10 qualified candidates went to the exact same school, have the exact same resume, have the exact same experience, all 10 did the exact same traditional interview process, who's the hiring manager gonna pick? Usually it's the person that they like. And yeah, qualified, sure, qualified is a given. At the end of the day, if I got a whole bunch of qualified candidates, I'm gonna pick the person I like. I'm gonna pick the person that I think I don't mind being around for at least the next year of my life, that I gotta see every day on Zoom or in person for the next year. I'm gonna pick somebody that I like. And yeah, this is where bias comes to play. The salesperson, it's your job to use bias to your advantage. Let's talk about the 3 parts of this interview. 3 parts to every interview. Tell me about yourself, STAR or SBO questions. And the 3rd part of the interview is, do you have questions for me? 3 parts to every interview. I'll leave it here for a second. Tell me about yourself. First part, when the person walks in, tell me about yourself. Or they say like, why do you want to work here? Why do you want to get in sales? Anything that sounds, looks like that, so tell me about yourself question. Second part, STAR or SBO question. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. SBO stands for situation, behavior, outcome, both the same thing. Those are the questions that sound like, tell me about a time where you have to do this. Tell me about a time where you have to do that. And then the last part of the interview is the do you have questions for me part of the interview. So let's break down the first part of the interview, the tell me about yourself. And the easiest way that I can break this down, we've come up with a simple 3-step process to help you answer the tell me about yourself. Here it is. Tell me about yourself question. It doesn't need to be long. In fact, I lied. It does need. The tell me about yourself question part of the movie, first of all, has to last longer than 5 minutes. you have to make it longer than 5 minutes in the tell me about yourself part of the interview. If you do not make it past 5 minutes in the tell me about yourself part of the interview, you could just get up, turn your camera off, and walk out because you ain't getting the job. Like, it's just, and I know you're looking at this and you're like, well, Shelton, the first part is 15 to 30 seconds of what you're currently doing. The second part is 15 to 30 seconds about what you're looking for next. And the third part is 30 to 45 seconds connecting what you're looking for with the company that you're talking to and sharing why you would be a good fit, which requires a little bit of research. That's only 90 seconds. That's not that long. And you say I got to talk longer than 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't say you have to talk longer than 5 minutes. You don't have to talk longer than 5 minutes. But the first part of the interview needs to last longer than 5 minutes, which means like if you set yourself up to talk 90 seconds, ideally the person that's on the other side of the screen or across the table from you will then add their piece and it'll start the conversation. But like using this format, it sets you up for the person to mirror and say things like, yeah, me too. Okay, it gives them the brief snapshot, which then allows them to remember what you said, first of all, because who's ever listened to somebody talk for longer than 90 seconds and then can't remember what they said when they first started? 90 seconds is ideal for the first part of this interview. What are you currently doing? What you're looking for next? And connecting what you're looking for. And so this is what we're going to do is this part where I am going to we're gonna have fun with this. So instead of doing these videos, we're gonna do some tell me about yourself, and I'm gonna actually pretend to be folks. And so if you find me on LinkedIn, find Rework on Instagram, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube page, do all the social stuff. But on our Instagram, if you send us a message and drop your LinkedIn profile or drop your resume to us, once a month we'll record us doing a tell me about yourself. We record us doing a tell me about your tell me about yourself. But for this example, I'm going to be one of the people on Zoom, and the person that we decided to be today is we're going to be Nancy. We've decided to be Nancy. And so Nancy, I got your LinkedIn pulled up, and so I'm going to be you for a hot second, and I'm going to use this format. So Nancy worked, she did like an internship at Microsoft. She worked at a company called Branch as an operations program manager. Branch was in the Bay. She also was vice president somewhere for about 10 months. She did an apprenticeship. Nancy got a lot of experience. Oh, Nancy actually started in the restaurant industry. Let's see. She also worked at Auto Shoes. She also worked at Kate Spade doing commission. Nancy got a lot of, but what did she start in? 2013. All right, cool. And then let's see. Nancy grew up in the Bay. So I walk into an interview and I'm Nancy, and a person that walks up to me, I'm interviewing a Spotify person, walks up to me and says, tell me about yourself. What brings you to Spotify? Here's my answers, Nancy. Well, so currently I've done a lot of things. I've been in the restaurant industry. I've done a couple of internships in operations. I worked for an organization called Branch that focused on industrial design. And honestly, I'm loving people. It's honestly what I'm doing now. I'm loving to work with people. Went through a couple of different programs, one called Rework, one called Co-op, because I'm focused on taking what I learned about people and going into tech sales. I'm actually looking for a company that focuses on tech sales or helps me more or less use the experience that I've gained over the last 6 years of working with people and managing people. Like, I want to be able to use that experience. I don't want that experience to be for nothing. I love the relationships that I've built over the years, love the people I've met along the way. And so I'm looking for an organization to work for where I can take that experience and work hard and play hard, honestly, at the same time. Every organization that I worked on, that I've worked at that hasn't been in sales, I've worked my butt off. I'm ambitious and I go hard. And so I want to be able to go to a company where I can take, my ability to build relationships and take the ambition I have and not only make me money, but make the company money too. And so honestly, when I saw Spotify, I saw you all have a BDR position open, and I saw you all not only love to solve the problem, but when it comes to making sure that people have access to music and that artists have access to getting their music produced, it made me think like, hey man, I could be a really good solid fit here based on the relationships that I have. And I saw you all care about diversity and inclusion because, I am first generation. I come from, a diverse community, and I saw you all care about those values. I felt like I could bring not only the skills that I, bring to the table when it comes to building relationships, but I also can bring, my diverse perspective here to help me and you make money. And fun fact, I got ADHD as my superpower, so I'm able to pick up a whole bunch, I'm able to pick up a whole bunch of information in small chunks of time and get started really, really fast. But that's a little bit about me. Boom. Look. And so that's what we're going to do. Look, every month you drop again, hit our Instagram channel up, Rework Training on Instagram, hit us up on Instagram, send us your resume or send us your LinkedIn profile, and we will drop some videos of me doing a tell me about yourself for different people. But this format, easy to use format, hope you all find it helpful. Cool. So let's talk about the second part of the interview, which is the STAR or the SBO question. STAR, this for those of you all who aren't familiar, STAR stands for situation, task, action, result, or SBO stands for situation, behavior, outcome. So limit your adjectives, no features and benefits in this first part. 15 to 45 seconds, framing up a very specific situation. 15 to 45 seconds, talking about the behaviors that you did, and then 30 to 90 seconds, talking about the very specific outcome. And again, like, if I had to add to this acronym of STAR, it would be STAR first, talk second. So do the STAR, like a robot. Just, you need to have your STAR memorized. And honestly, like, I would look and we'd drop hopefully something, later. There's not that many STAR questions out there. You're going to get asked the same STAR questions over and over again. Tell me about the time this. Tell me about the time that. You should have it written down of what your answer is going to be. First thing. Second thing, you should say that answer every single time. Like, nobody from one company, no interviewer from one company is calling an interviewer from the other company to say, what did this person say in their STAR question number one? It doesn't work like that. So you should get really good at writing down and answering the same STAR questions over and over again. Major keys, a little bit of advice I can give, right? And again, STAR first, talk second. So I'll give a sound bite of the typical questions. I'll answer two questions. The first one is, tell me about a time you had to hit a goal. The second question is, tell me about a time you failed at something. So tell me about a time you had to hit a goal. So there was this one time situation, I was working at JP Morgan Chase as a personal banker, and my manager gave me a goal of opening up 10 checking accounts in 1 week. She gave me this goal on a Friday. And so what I did is that Monday morning, I pulled a list of emails and customers that didn't have checking accounts. They only had savings accounts. I pulled a list of 50 customers to call. And so I called and emailed 50 customers on Monday morning. About Monday afternoon, people have responded, and I was able to set 30 appointments by Monday afternoon for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so over the course of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, people were coming in, they would come to their appointments. I was able to get a few walk-ins along the way. Had to follow up with a few folks. And by the end of the week on Friday, I was able to open up 18 checking accounts by the end of the week on Friday, and I'll end up hitting my goal. Boom. Simple, straightforward. What was the situation that I just explained in my STAR answer? The situation was I was working with JP Morgan Chase. So you got to think that if a hiring manager is looking at your resume and they see all the experience that you have to be able to isolate where this story is happening at. Like, don't make me guess, like, where are you working again? Like, I don't want to have to fill in the blanks of like, when did this happen? How relevant is this? And so by letting them know where you are on your resume, the situation, I'm able to pinpoint, like, oh, what are we talking about? And so then the task was, I had a goal to open up checking accounts. The third part, the action, the A, what did I end up doing? Made some phone calls on Monday, scheduled some appointments, did a few follow-ups. That's the A. And in the result, end up opening up 18 checking accounts. End of the week, exceeded my goals. All right, pretty straightforward. And sometimes what happened is, like, here's where this conversation piece takes in. That took me probably no longer than, a minute to tell you about this situation. It took me no longer than a minute, 90 seconds to start it out. And I'm pretty sure you remember what my story was. But more importantly, when you think about my story, would you say that I am organized? Would you say that I am ambitious? Would you say that I'm goal-oriented? Yeah, I'm pretty sure any adjective that I use to describe myself, you would probably say I did a really good job, which is you selling yourself on me and not me selling you on myself. I just sold a solution with my story, which is why I tell folks to limit your adjectives at the interview, because people don't like to be sold, they sell themselves. I'll give you another question. Second question, tell me about the time you failed at something. You ready? Tell me about the time you failed at something. So there was one time I was working at JP Chase as a personal banker. I had a goal to open up 10 checking accounts at the end of the week. My manager gave me that goal on Friday. So Monday, I pulled a list of 20 customers to call. I called to email all 20 of customers that didn't have checking accounts. And I set appointments for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Some folks got back to me that Monday afternoon. I ended up having 12 appointments on Monday. But over the course of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I had some customers that called me and said they weren't going to be able to make it. I had some people that just ghosted me. And by the end of the week on Friday, I was only able to open up 7 checking accounts. And so what I did is I went to my manager and I asked them, man, what could I have done better to hit my goal? And they told me that I should have probably pulled a bigger list of customers to call at the beginning of the week. And so I ended up having the same goal the following week. I had a goal to open up 10 checking accounts. So the following week, I pulled a list of 50 customers and I called, emailed all 50 customers that didn't have checking accounts. And I was able to set 30 appointments the following week between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By the end of the week on Friday, I was able to open up 18 checking accounts. So I end up exceeding my goal the following week. I answer the question. I'm pretty sure you know the situations. Still at JP Chase, you know the tasks. I had to open up checking accounts. You know the actions that I took, which made me fail the first time. And you know the actions that I took to make me succeed the second time. And you know the results that equated to my failure. But I just, I still let me add a little sprinkles to this part of the interview, because you also know what I did to succeed at the interview. And the most important question is, would you all say that I'm coachable? Yeah, I didn't tell you I'm coachable. You said it. You sold it.